First of all, I would like to extend my greetings to all of you. Tashidelek. Let's read preliminary prayers.
Sivu 34, page 34.
Today is the second day of our meeting, and we continue to read the text by Lama Tsongkhapa called In Praise of Dependent Origination. And as we earlier said, there is four eulogies, four praises that were composed by Lama Tsongkhapa, and this text is one of the four main praises that were composed by Lama Tsongkhapa. These four great praises that were composed by Lama Tsongkhapa is the first one is the eulogy of the great ocean of appraisal sent to the Manjushri, set for the Manjushri. Second one is the great eulogy for Maitreya. The third one is the praise for Buddha of medicine. And the fourth one is the eulogy for Buddha Shakyamuni. And this current praise eulogy that for Buddha Shakyamuni, Lama Tsongkhapa makes this eulogy on account of his teachings on dependent origination. Buddha gave detailed explanation on dependent origination. And before Buddha, even though there were many great scholars, great yogis in ancient India, there were no sage who was preaching on the dependent origination. And after Buddha, there were nobody who preached, who taught on dependent origination. That's why only Buddha was the person who gave very extensive, very profound teachings on dependent origination. All those teachers who were making clarifications on dependent origination, all those teachers actually were following in footsteps of Buddha Shakyamuni. They were explaining dependent origination in just the way the Buddha himself taught dependent origination.
다 텐델데라 아니 교진이 텐델다 안 차저라 때문에 텐델다 아니 뒤루다 다 텐데기 남자 망고요래서 산직 손시죠.
And Buddha gave teachings on dependent origination on various levels. Course level, for example, there is a course level related with the cause and effect relationship. Dependent origination as a cause-effect relationship. Dependent origination as a relation between whole and its parts, constitution parts. And dependent origination as a dependency upon each other, contingents upon each other. That's why there is a more coarse level of dependent origination and more subtle level.
No.
And through the teachings of dependent origination, we distinguish two truths. The system of two truths is like a structure of whole Buddhist teachings. If we need to make a building, first we should make a good pillars. So we have to make a good foundation pillars. We need to have a good structure of a building. And on account of these two truths that are the very basis of Buddhist teachings, we approach to the spiritual path, that is the method. The spiritual path that is related with the method and wisdom. And when we go on this spiritual path, eventually we get to the result, we attain result, which is the two bodies, two kayas. Depending on the method and depending on wisdom, we get Dharmakaya, the wisdom body, and we get Rupakaya, the form body of enlightened persons. And it's very clear that all these spiritual paths and all these results are attained by the merits of the foundation, of the very foundation. And here, this foundation is the truth itself, it's the fact of reality. And on dependence, in dependency of this reality, of this truth, we are able to actually realize all these results. The system of two truths is the truth of conventional truth and absolute truth. And when we speak about conventional level of truth, about conventional truth, the most subtle aspect of the conventional truth is the dependent origination. And when we speak about absolute truth, This is the emptiness and the empty nature of all phenomena, and the best wisdom, the best apprehension among all kind of logics is the wisdom that realizes empty nature of all phenomena. All knowable objects are included within the system of true truth. When we say knowable objects, it means that we say about something existence. And all phenomena, all existing things are included in this sphere of knowable objects, and we say that all knowable objects are included within true truth. So that's why regarding every object, we can say about its conventional level of existence and absolute level of existence. Regarding every object.
lo kunzo sila de kunzo demba la de lo kunzo ba denzing ngola na dingi de la kunzo dembas tenam demba la de da tenam ba de ene pabe nyamshagi singola ne sutroba de la ne tenam dembas la ne tenam dembas la jero.
What is conventional? What is a conventional truth? It is the appearance that we have in an ordinary rational mind. It's all kind of appearances that manifest in the mind, which has a grasping at true existence. Whatever appears in the mind, which has wrong grasping, wrong craving at true existence, it is a conventional truth. And what is absolute truth? It is the appearance that manifests in the mind stream of Aryas, those who have direct realization of emptiness, when they reside in the state of meditative equipoise on emptiness. All those vision, all those appearance they have is the absolute truth.
다 딘도 마란조라 남유 뒤균도기 애니 추억한다 강강한데 애니 낭주다 내순이데 튕겨요 말했어요. 낭주다 내순이데 튕겨요 말했어. 마란조로 가리 나와데 되나 내기요 말했어. 가리 되나 내봐데 낭조로 낭토고요.
Regarding ordinary rational mind, we can say that whatever appears to ordinary mind will not exactly match the way the thing itself exists. So that's why the way we see things will not match, will not suit the way the things are themselves exist. In this way, when we speak about ordinary perception, we speak that there is a huge tendency for clinging to true existence in our perception. Whatever appears to us appears as they exist in their own way, exist independently. Because this inherent existence appear in our perception, we tend to cling to that perception. We grasp this perception. Because of this grasping, because of this clinging to this to this wrong perception, we produce many afflictive states of mind. We produce delusions.
다 짐바디기 뇽모탄데 뇽모디기 내가 가르치고는 니디기 레사 내가 거기 레사를 버렸어. 다 거기 소소기 액션 지치리 걸어. 뇽모디 액션 지치려도 디라 레라 그러와. 니디 액션 디라 야가요를 도어를 니가 요라. 야가들라 겨왔어. 누구들라 미겨왔으라니.
And because of this grasping, we create delusions, afflictions, and in these afflictions, delusions will make some actions. These actions may be of good or maybe of evil. So we here speak on wholesome actions and unwholesome actions. In other words, we accumulate karma, wholesome karma or unwholesome karma, and this karma will eventually bring their result. And this result may be related with happiness or suffering. In this way, we roam, we wander in samsara, through the 12 links of dependent origination. And also the karma itself have some karma itself also has some levels of understanding, coarse level and more subtle level. And when we speak about about subtle level of karma's manifestations, karmic links manifestations, then we speak about the subtle level of dependent origination, and that's why this level is a very hidden phenomena for us.
다 가시기 렌데콜라 셰레드 아니 소소라랑 오메딩이 레 가르고고 버도시 삼당이 요레스 다 얘기 삼당데도 렌데 계셔셰레드 레 랑디 계셔셰레드 라운디 자자자는 소소로 해보시 되는데도
And when there is a karma, some say that karma is the meaning of karma is that we don't have any freedom, that karma decides everything, and we just go after, and we just are being enslaved by the karma, previous karma. But when I think about karma, I have a strong feeling that we have total freedom. We have 100% of freedom in our own hands. We are own masters.
지단기 렌데기 렌데를 이셰레디랑디 갈카고 요로 갈라놓고 가고 이제 갈카고 리고 그랬어.
Of course, things like karma, it's hard to believe in those things because it's difficult to grasp, difficult to understand how they operate, how they function.
지단기 레랑디기 수수기 싸니 이 수수기 되고 요그러마도 시행기 레지사 되고 수수녀에디 라고 말했어.
And when we speak about karma, we don't say that you will come across to those results of action that you were never doing. You will come across only those results, only those fruits of your karma that you individually had done in the past.
답변한 건도 보고 중중가라 아니 지 정말을 전에 답변을 주셔는나 중중중가나 배나 숨지가나 되게가라 답변 쇼요나 아니 디 경고차래도 아니 디 치대도 나래다 디네 디 겐기 아니 디네 연구도 이네 껍데들 고츠와도 요마로 걸로 주주 수고야 뭐라.
For example, if someone gets hurt when he or she is 3 or 4 years old during playing and get some injury, for example, fell down during playing the game, or ate some unhealthy food, not good food, then immediately they will not experience the result of this action. But when they get older, those injuries, those actions will be manifested as a result at a more old age, as a some kind of sickness or some kind of feeling of hurt in the knees or in hand or in body or whichever may be, whatever it may be.
The any so long mangu jela the yungoro that the yungdu the member laptu maro member nyama kurachi w sare langado jumado khande chungre khande dabre la di seushe yo maro ina di naza di susuk sero nyama.
So here the point is that result may come after many years, and when we go to hospital, physicians will say that they will just say that maybe when you were young or when you were a child you happened to fall down, and because of this you have this sickness. They can make some just they can just suppose, but no one can really say that this sickness comes from this cause exactly.
The ya suzuki tendo mara bo junjuro ta lo sumji kabgi ni tudi ngado tendo meda.
And this person himself or herself also cannot of course remember this event because he or she was very young, very small.
Ta ina pamal kejetina ne amada alada komanyamdo jodu ko dawade ameda bala toyena naburo didu kyoranchi dabiordas didu dabre ene davsa saje dire didu dineli man dabre ne ko amagi seushi doro ando dela ribo tanje ribo kane tana ya ta ribo kazu mo kazu yo na ko ribo tane hago toyeji mara.
But if this person will ask parents or some close people what happened in the past, the parents can explain that, oh, when you were young, when you were a child, you fell down at such a place, at such a time. So they can explain that this event was present in the past. But this person cannot realize these causes, which whatever logics he or she may use every kind of logics, but this logic will not help to identify the cause of this injury, the cause of this sickness. He or she should rely upon the evidence of third person. In just a way, when we think about karma and when we use logical reasons, logical evidences, they will not help for understanding, comprehending karma. In order to understand karma, we should rely upon the evidence of third person. It means we should rely on the instructions, teachings that were given by Buddha. Because Buddha is the one who has clear understanding and clear realization of all karmical links, all karmical relationships.
미세 미기류된 도배 대조단데 배짜심으로 디칼라나 대조단데 기념하게 주 야고사와 되는 먼저 미기류된 톱으로.
And the current fact that we are born in the human body is a very precious thing. It should be very precious thing for us because we accumulated many merits in the past, and because of these merits we were born as a human beings.
로아심제 드루다 르다메나 마고지도 에도게 따데나 미르딘디 zamane bilin düğünle oldu. Rosimce bilin düğünle şa digi bilin düğünü çeşitli mi bilin düğünü iki çeşitli gibi olmalı.
There are many other kinds of forms of living beings. Human beings are just one kind of species of living beings. If we were to count human beings, then count human beings and count the quantity of all living beings on our earth, then we will clearly see that the quantity of human beings is much more less than the one part of the whole total quantity of all living beings on our earth. Is much more less than one part of all total quantity of all living beings.
And nirin nalora mi bilin di yorede yine ya simce bilin di ma nima reden shidu goro mi sacha yodi zogi da busingri da lawordo tandagi gero khashina busingri di shuju be sagora 데제틀레도 딘데기 니마레를 조르고래 데네 심쟁이 장가디 되게요 말 심쟁이라디 먼저기 화동이 무슨 잘못 가져가줘요 미래를 거관으로 무슨 방법이요
We say that there is a 7 billion population all over the world, 7 billion people all over the world, and every day more than 7 billion living beings, animals, insects, fish are being eaten every day. Many insects, many fishes, many animals are eaten or dying every day. Think about how many small creatures, microorganisms are in our body. It's more than 7 billion. How many microorganisms, small creatures, tiny creatures, we cannot see, we cannot count them, even them. And when you have this whole holistic vision, you can feel that the people are the very small community. The number of the people, population of the people is very small in comparison to the quantity of animals, insects, fish, birds, and so on. And we get enough luckiness, we got enough luck to be reborn in this very small group, in this very small community of human beings. It means that we had enough merits, we accumulated enough wholesome karma. And as for the
사실 진이 지 타는 거 미리만 더 근데 쟁이들이 용거라.
And as for the karma, we speak about the presence of previous lives, previous form of existence. Some people, many people, thousands of people had the memories, recollections from past lives, and these recollections were subject to scientific investigations, and the memories, recollections of those past lives are not something unique to only Buddhists. The people from the Christian culture, from Muslim culture, or some other cultures, some people also have this kind of experience, this kind of memories. So that's why it's not something that is present in the Buddhist community. And also these memories usually have small children, and if someone grown up will say that he has memories from past life, it may be a false account, a false representation. But small children, they cannot be taught in this way to lie, to give a small, detailed, true accounts on the previous lives.
다들 쟁이게 단 예절 아메리카노 직도 단다 직 주네. 고막제 보고지 안내 막신 입에 가라. 되게 많이 시비 코드를 템버지 단다 산주나 되셔 직도.
For example, nowadays there is a news of a news of the boy who had vivid recollections from the past life when he was living during Second World War. This just happened in America, a boy from America. And there is no accounts, no such cases when someone grown up tells about the previous lives recollections. Only small children. I think it is because of the gradual forgetting. I know one Lama. He said that when he was child, he had these recollections, and by time he lost these memories. And if this is the truth, then we can ask question: if there are previous lives, then why can't we remember them? Why don't we have memories from the past lives? Because we are also come from this past life. If we come from the past lives, why don't we have these memories? Like these people who can recollect the previous life. And then we can say that we are born, we come to this world from the womb of our mother. Every person, every man, every woman was born this way, came from the womb, mother's womb. And when we were 1 year old or 2 years old or 3 years old, we have no recollections of those early stages of our lives. We cannot remember what was happening when we were very small, but it is not. It doesn't give us a reason to say that there were no such early stages of our life because we don't remember. We cannot say like this. Although we cannot remember this, it is there. It was there, and every person was born in this way, came from the mother's womb, and was very small. And during this, and we cannot remember events from this period of our life, but it doesn't give us a reason to say that this period of our life was not existing before.
Ina yada tengi ya nyunu dine doa, tengi dine yue durwa, tana nye giru dine dana Moskola, dine chigi nga labsura, ko chundu kanan gine ju di tengi dos.
Lochik loni
kan.
However, there are also some individuals who can recollect the events from the very, very young age. When we, for example, there is my student in Moscow. This student of mine said to me that he or she she can recollect the events when of the period when she was 1 year old.
That the one day that the dinner that the Hindu sengi and Manzuki China Yomo Karina ya Kogi Chick Molo Junko Ko Gunden Doro. The Hindu Manzuki Sentia, Tenajin Ko Gunden Doro. Semgi Gunden Dodo, Sem Mahimbaji, Semgi Gunden Rumare, Semji Gunden Doro. The Hindu Manzuki Amako lady Manzula Semji Rairo. This Sendi Semama Semji Goro. The Mena Semji Candela to a little.
When we look at material things, we see that the material substance receives various forms, various shapes, and continue to exist as something, these material things continue to exist as something material. So there is just changes in shape and external expression, but the continuity of this substantial continuity just go on. And in the same way, when we look at the mind, we can say that the mental continuity of the mind just continues on, goes on. Something that is not mental cannot transform, cannot become mental event. So the mental events, mental processes comes from the mind itself. And when fetus when fetus is formed in the mother's womb, at that very moment there is a consciousness, there is a mind in this fetus, and this mind, this consciousness would also have a previous moment of existence. It should have a previous period. Because mental phenomena comes from only mental phenomena. So if there is a mind in this fetus, then this mind should come from previous stream of the mind, of this very mind. And if we look at this picture and we think about the dependent origination, when we see that these things in this picture dependently originated, we will have some understanding.
단생기 자와디 디기 단생기 기 녀모랑 가지고 녀모기 제어라 수지 디기 제어라 수네 가지고 강에나 홍도에디 디리 당 가지고 잡된사데 담에도 셔라도 잡된데나 녀모기 제어지고 말이네 소소 기부가 내도해 준 거라서
And now we really rely upon our wrong perception of reality. We really rely upon this wrong grasping at the self, and we said that this grasping produces all other rest of the afflictions, and because of these afflictions we suffer. And if we were to rely upon the wisdom which realizes the emptiness, selflessness, then we will sever, then we will destroy this wrong grasping, and we will destroy all these afflictions that come from this ignorance. And it will be a very blissful state for us. It will be real happy state for us.
근데 또 칼라나 셈디로와 셈디가 계정 배치를 되어서 셈 지부기 돈에 그 셈들이 최 탐지기 차시지 들어와 디네 차시지를 되는데 디 계정 배치가 되어서
And this all comes from the mind, and that's why mind consciousness is very important for us. The number of knowable objects is really endless, and the mind is just a small part of this, of the sphere of knowable objects.
사마디 셈 되딩이라지.
And however, all other knowable objects are dependent on this small part, are dependent on the mind.
칼라나 다나 나랑 저기 미기 초토에리 쉽게 마시고도나 댄사데 셈 된대요.
The fact that we are alive, that we stay in this state from the moment of birth up to the death, it is possible because of our minds. When mind comes out from the body, and when mind lost the relationship with the body, then we say that this person has died. He is dead person.
근데 샘디 류념도 얘도 내가라도 가오르나야 니도와 소고라 그냥 차와 남주 주주 여사기 롱거지 두나야 그 류디 류 용도도 고 샤라야 되는데 이내 걸 지막합니다. 이 양성보다
When the mind is in this body, when the mind is associated with this body, then this body stays alive. And although this body is just a collection of flesh, bones, and etc., the mind keeps this body alive. If we put the flesh on a very high temperature, then flesh will get rotten, will some smell. Bad smelling, there will be very bad smell. But our body, if we go to the hot countries, we see that our body will not produce a bad smell, will stay fresh and will stay alive. If you put a piece of flesh, a piece of meat to the street, after a few hours, you put on a table, not in a refrigerator, then it will produce a bad smelling after a few hours. So when mind leaves this body, lose relationship with this body, disconnects from this body starts to smell very badly, very bad.
자고 그랬어. 디네 땅 안쪽이 지단이 샤지. 당로나라 주잖아요. 로직 주잖아. 양샤도 견자고 샤로도 당로는 주는 야되나요. 안쪽이 샤도 저거디 그 로자스 생년도 제로도 당로 고면도 가르고 고면도 그 로자스 소토에 연구도 하고.
When you put meat in refrigerator, you can keep it in refrigerator for example, for a year. But after this, after a year, this meat will change anyway. But this body consisted of meat, flesh, and bones, and bloods, and so on. It will stay fresh for 50 years, for 60 years or over, because of the mind. We don't need refrigerator for this body.
남지 장문배나 마이너스 납주 주주 되는데 요새 농가 열어 된소나로 인해 밑소도 이 가서디 추연도 차고 그런데 추연의 연수에마다 말살 자되니 차고 거라 이는 미국수 어디 건네도도 한 번씩 거지.
And also when you go to very cold countries, when the degree is minus 50 or something like that, and at that kind of extreme conditions, it's very hard to survive. But anyway, because of the mind, the body stays warm.
근데 거기라 남지 정문으로 도움되는 여러 이 강도 도움되는 여러.
For example, white Arctic bears live in such extreme conditions.
그래서 지부진데도 알아. 이나야 콘조 씨바다. 콘조기 쌤디 르니 카트와다. 거기 나기 거와 차 용도데 대마도도 잡아차로도. 디마도는 콘조 차든도 거기 추용도 잡아잖아. 차디 잡아 맞아도 되도.
They live very happy in those northern places, in those very cold places. But when their mind disconnects from their body, at that moment, the body of the bear will become just a piece of kappa. Ice.
The inside blood.
Inside blood, inside the body, flesh, inside the body, just become a piece of. But when the mind has a connection with this body, the blood in this body, flesh in this body stays warm, stays active. And there was a huge technical progress, technical development in our world, in our society during last 100 years, and this advancement in technical progress was made not by our intelligence, by our mind. Was made by the human beings, and the mind of the human beings is the main creator of this whole development. So this is a fact that shows us the strength of the human intelligence. Even though animals can outnumber human beings, they can do just a huge. They cannot produce such a development that can produce human beings. It's really dependent on human intelligence. The state of the future world is really dependent on our minds, on our intelligence.
근데 사 정문인데 매바 짬에 거란 수나야 수투에디 이 미기스는 요레스.
Human intelligence, human mind can even destroy entire world.
정문인데 메츠고 수나다 정문인데 지고 수에디 미기스는 수고로. 야 정문인데 당신은 수나야 미기스는 수고로.
The world can perish in the great fire, because of the bombs and all these things.
라메다.
No.
몸 라메.
No.
메라메다.
네.
자문이디 매버서요 저로.
네.
자문이디
네.
메기 지고다. 추이 지고다. 자문이 코라 매버서요 저로.
Sorry, the world can perish because of the human activity, because of the human intelligence, and world can be saved as well. The world can be transformed into something like a paradise, also because of the power of human intelligence.
자문이디 매버스.
No.
다 페나 로자기 스키 나로 자문이디다 매버 차샤라 저로. 딘데기 디 수나야 단다기 로미 수도고로.
We can, for example, if world will perish, will disappear in 100 years, this disappearance can be caused by a human intelligence, human mind.
근데 남의 최단을 샘디 패키지로 최단지 최 샘디 서버에서네. 얘네 샘디 서버라도 단다 지딘 그거 그거나시 딘데라고 말했어. 샘디 서버라도 서단 단다 니 대시 라바도 잡라. 다들 이게 참 가려나 띵서 배워요.
And in Buddhist teachings, the human mind, the human intelligence is told to be. In Buddhist teachings, it's the mind itself, not just a human mind, but general mind, consciousness, is told to be a very important factor that creates the universe. We cannot, but when we say that mind creates the universe, we don't say that our mind is acting as a creator, something like a God creator. We say that we don't explain the mind in this manner. But rather we explain this. But rather we explain this in the manner that mind produces things, mind creates things, just like items in this room. We have marks, tables, and many other items, and these all were created by the mind. And there are also many species in this world, many animals, birds, and they all are also have their own mind streams, own consciousness. No. And they are not jobless. They have some activities, helpful actions. They maintain the balance of our ecology, balance of our world system, and that's why they also have. They are not totally jobless. They also do some helpful actions. Without insects, the soil will be very solid. And that's why the soil, the earth can become deserted places without plants.
That pena nigi dinji shena pena ngara zo oxygen jero da mil kechong bero oxygen minne tu marwa mi mena ne zamulin di kale ka obe shazaro
No.
oxygen nang di mena ani migi mi chotu maras tanda zamulin di mi chotu de mi ngonzo oxygen jibolo.
For example, oxygen is very important for staying alive. Without oxygen, there will be no human race on this world.
Oxygen di chidang gi labde chinebe gi lamna gyaso nangi tsaje saro. Gyaje dunju dongaski ngonzo gi mi oxygen dinera ores labda.
And scientists say that the 75% of oxygen comes from the sea fossils.
Ocean.
Waterlessly. Fossils. Yeah. Sea, some plant in sea.
Algae, sea algae. Yeah, sea algae.
Sea algae. Comes from the sea algae.
Ta digi dinera oro. Digi tsadi ini tandagi nyam bomso ma nyamdo yungding gyaso no jigdo. Nyam bom ma urujine rinashime. Digi tsadi meba sugo reslodo.
And this sea algae is food for many species of many fishes. They stay in a huge crowds. How to say crowds or pools of fish. They eat this sea algae.
Da kisi konzogi di sana di zoruna ngazo oxygen kangen chegoro.
If those fishes would eat totally this sea algae, if the population of those fishes will increase, then there will be less and less sea algae. And sharks eat those fishes, and therefore sharks control the population of those fishes, and that's why sharks are very helpful in this sense. Therefore we can say that sharks really give us oxygen, opportunity to breathe oxygen. If there were no sharks, there will be no oxygen. 아니 담아디 가서.
로동라 몽골라 다 자. 미 로미 중에 단다보도라 민네 토디 디 지디 샤브 컨텐트 되고라.
And the fact that human race lived on this planet for many thousand years is one factor is due to the sharks' activity.
이마이나 체리 열게 마르드 미기 냐디 메바서도 여기 탑시데 여마로. 다 들으서니나 샤르 메나야 메바서도 여기 소도는다 주진도 땅에 메바서에 탑시 여러.
나 벌써.
이마이나 야조나기 냐 편정 모든 미기 메바서도 고 말하다. 아, 샤코랑 지디고로.
And previously, when there were no scientific explanations of the benefit of sharks, people tried to. People tried to kill all these sharks, even though they didn't have.
Before they didn't have the
technology.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even though they didn't have technology to extinguish, to kill all the population of sharks, but the konzogi shark to seagi the 자기의 영어를 대.
Earlier people were not able
nya bomzo mo tanda digi sere chaje de mara.
Nowadays they are able, but earlier they were not able.
Yeah.
You see?
Nowadays, karsa.
Shal dameda nya bom mo joro di nyungru dayada tabji de mara. Shal daga chi de oro.
Previously, people didn't have really these technologies for catching more fish, but these days they have these technologies, and in previous times sharks were doing this function. They were catching fishes, killing fishes.
다 디르산이 샤르 데네 가는 좀 보이나요? 디르산이 zambunin din 나로라 샤게 핀스여로 쇼거디 숲스여로 샤 빼먹으면 매버서 셔도.
And in these days, people kill many sharks because of their fins.
What's the word in English?
쇼거 fin.
Fins. Because of their fin, people use make soup from these fins.
샤 야조는 샤 야조 가시나라 샤 야조 고주스 데네 조루도.
In some seas, the population of sharks lessen to 90%.
다 데네 샤기 가린 좀 샤찌기 샤기 가린 좀 그래야겠어. 다 대다 대나 지금 엄청만 디베트고 전문이 정말 뛰어요. 정말 디펜드 뛰니 전문이 쳐대요.
That's why the sharks are really being great, kind for us. We should be grateful for us, and this shows us that everything on our world are really dependent on each other.
사과도 대신 전문이 중중으로 잡는데 네 개가 편주돼서 조함이 편주나 배 타니 오베잖아. 편주를 뛰어도 찍라 그래서 잡는데 정말 강에 태도에다 되는 용도도.
And these days we can say that our world has become shrinked, become smaller in some sense. We became much closer to each other, and when there is a crisis in some region, this crisis will lead to another crisis in other parts of our world.
근데 뒤에 다다난 만족이 되게 근데 다다다 돌도지 되는지 셰로로 되는지 다다다 된데다 저와요 베토네 근데 되는지 셰버레스.
This is just a brief account, brief explanation of dependent origination based on the world, on those things that are happening in our world.
다다다 뒤쪽에 조스로와 이 주제도 가마 정하나 단다 디샤임바 브레이션은 가마 정한 브레이크 샤워로.
And the time is for the first session is over, and we will have a break. Come on, break.
15
minutes break.